Hi, welcome to another great edition of Fiifi-Manfred here on YouTube. Thank you very much, as always, for choosing us on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the channel, it's imperative that you do so now. Pause the video, go back, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification. Now, we want to hear from you. There's a lot to unpack today. On today's show, a lot of preview going on. Chelsea play Crystal Palace tomorrow at Selhurst Park. It's a big London derby. Crystal Palace are without a couple of players. We'll talk about how that may affect the game tomorrow. We'll be speaking a little bit more about other things in the game. We'll talk about Chelsea, the injury issues, and how tactically Chelsea can set up to hit Crystal Palace tomorrow. So if you've not subscribed, pause the video. This is what we do over here. We tell football tactical analysis stories. We delve into the whys and hows of every other thing that's about football here. We do, of course, other discussions about football here. So stick and stay with me. If you've not subscribed again, pause the video, go back and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Apart from that, there's also the African Cup of Nations finals going on tonight that we'll talk about. It's Manchester United play against Aston Villa. A very difficult game for both teams. There is Arsenal playing also in a London derby against Westham United. We'll preview all of those ones for you here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So don't go nowhere. Stick and stay. Let us get straight into it. First of all, let's do the tactical analysis of the African Cup of Nations final. I mean, this year's African Cup of Nations has been near perfect. If it's not perfect, I mean, I think it has been perfect actually. You look at how the competition started, where Nigeria were from their first game not being perfect, the fact that they were able to manage the game, get results against Equatorial Guinea. After Equatorial Guinea, they built on those results, playing their next game against the host nation, the Ivory Coast. It was a difficult game, if you remember. They won via a William Trester-Con penalty, won by Victor Osimhen in the box, and it was since then that Ousmane Diamonde hasn't really featured for the Ivorian national team. From then, they went on to go and play against Guinea-Bissau. They got that all-important win. They qualified, and then since then, in fact, since that second game against Ivory Coast, Nigeria have been going in leaps and bounds. They have been near perfect in almost everything that they do. They've considered the least shot. They've had the most clean sheet. They've had some of the most attacks in the competition. They have been very good in this year's African Cup of Nations. So it's in the light of this that they have gotten to the final. The story of the Ivorians is a little bit different. For Ivory Coast, nobody really thought that the Ivorians were going to be here. Nobody really believed that the Ivorians were going to be here because at the beginning of the competition, Ivory Coast won the first game, rightly so, the opener. But then again, they go into the subsequent games, lose to Nigeria, lose to Equatorial Guinea, get to just 3 points in their group. And then the miracle of Ivory Coast begins to start. I mean, first of all, the fact that Ghana had to lose, then other teams have to do them a favor, like Algeria, like Morocco on the last day. And that was the only reason why they were able to get to where they got to. But once they got to the round of 16 against Senegal, a team that were unbeaten, they showed mettle. They showed the fact that they wanted the team on. They stuck in, they dug in, and then they got the results against the Senegalese. They qualified, and then of course the big West African foe in Mali. It was a difficult game. Got in a red card, stuck in, made some good tactical tweaks. They were able to go in and win the game. It was a well managed, smart, important game, and they got the results. Now, fast forward, they're going to play against the DRC, and that was the calmest I've seen the Ivorians in this competition, and that's how they're able to go through that game, and which is a very good one for the Ivorians. So the final is all but set, and we'll do the preview analysis for you here. And I've said that in the first game Nigeria played in African Cup of Nations this year. In fact, before the Afcon, Nigeria were essentially playing a 4-1-4-1 formation, and you see them most of the times seated like this, where every time was a 4-1-4-1. They had the width in their two attackers. They had the width in their two wingers, Moses Simons and then Ademola Lookman. And then, of course, leading the lines was Victor Osimhen. The problem with the 4-1-4-1 was that they almost always let Frank Onyeka in the whole year to dictate the pace of the game. And it didn't help with build-up. It wasn't also excellent in terms of dealing with the turnovers that they were facing. So if you look at the games that they have played in Afcon qualifiers and even the World Cup qualifiers, you could tell Nigeria had issues off the ball. It was a difficult qualification rounds for them. So coming into this game, coming into this African Cup of Nations, they tweaked. The first game they went to the 4-1-4-1 again without Kelvin Bassey on the bench. I don't know what happened. There was something I was saying a month before, and it looks as if Jose Peseiro for the very first time lesson, and then went into the three at the back. And for me, that was a game changer. Three at the back of William Trestocon, the captain, as a central centre back. Sheyi Ajayi in there for them, and then they had Calvin Bass. And I think that this three centre backs is an excellent set of players for a rest defense. If you have a rest defense of Ajayi, Trestocon, and then Calvin Bassey, they are very good in their own rights in terms of 1v1 duels and in a structure also. There's excellent leadership in William Trestocon, and you have the fact that Calvin Bassey can drop into the middle of the park and to effect changes, to force things in central areas, to make sure that he wins balls, he's aggressive, he doesn't allow attackers turn and face their goal. Once they want to receive the ball back to go, he closes them down, wins the ball, and then play forward. And the fact that Nigerians have two excellent wing backs in Zaidu Sanusi and Ola Aina, it makes it even easier because, one, if you are playing against whichever shape of a team that you're going to play against, most of the times in this Afcon, it was a 4-3-3. There is Ola Aina on this side. And if Ola Aina is here, Calvin Bassey drops in here, wins the ball, plays forward, Ola Aina receives in wide area. On the same way where there is Ola Aina, you have Moses Simons, who is excellent in cutting inside, very good in receiving in tight spaces. He's excellent in cutting inside. He's excellent in receiving in between the lines. Once he receives the ball in between the lines here, you know that Victor Osimhen is the kind of center forward that will hold his own against any center back. He will make the marauding runs. He will make the darting runs. And once this is going on, the far side wing back is also making his run. What is Zaidu Sanusi? And then of course Ademola Lookman. Very, very, very good stuff. In the things that Nigeria do, and this is how you're able to translate from the three low block here. When they win the ball in central areas, however, it becomes a two at the back with Ajayi and William Trestocon, because Calvin Bassey will drop into the middle of the park in this area to help press and counter press and win balls here. Now, if you have played against Nigeria, you stifle them in wide areas. If you've seen anything stifle Nigeria in wide areas, one of the things that they have done in wide areas is that the response they give you is that they want to make sure that they go long. They go very, very long. And of course, who is a better holder player than Victor Osimhen? And that has been the excellence Nigeria story, where if you congest central areas, say a 4-4-2 or 4-5-1, and make it difficult for them to win even numerical battles in central areas, they're able to go long to Osimhen. And it's hold up play. And because you have marauding inside attackers, the wing backs can hold the width naturally. Zaidu Sanusi or Aina, they will hold the width. And then, of course, Moses Simons, Ademola Lookman, they will be close to Victor Osimhen. Once he holds up the ball, he finds willing runners next to him, he slots the ball. And if you go back and watch Nigeria's goals, they have come from excellent hold-up play, one from Victor Osimhen, and then the fact that they have also been near perfect off-the-ball runs from the two attackers in the Nigerian team. And that's exactly how Nigeria have gotten here. They've been excellent at that, and that's how they've been doing. For the part of the Elephant of Ivory Coast, there have been a couple of changes. I mean, Ivory Coast went in some form of a 4-3-3, which is a little bit problematic because there was no technical. So some form of a 4-3-3 where the Ivorians had, and there was no technical balance in the middle of the park for them into when NS5 came. So first of all, in the game against Senegal, consistently I knew that the Ivorians were going to come against a very technical Senegalese midfield, but they also had some technical stuff. They just needed to match. They needed to beat them physically and then match them technically. And I think it was an excellent tweak where NS5 went into a 4-3-3, but changed personnel. And in this personnel change, it was Jean-Michel Seri that dropped into the middle of the park with Ibrahima Sangare and Sheku Fofana. Everybody knows that for me, one of the best midfielders in this tournament has been Sheku Fofana. Excellent box-to-box 8, excellent attacking 8, getting in and out of here, helping in terms of progression, picking up the ball. He's an excellent ball carrier from deep areas and also is able to pass to break the lines. And of course, Ibrahima Sangare also very good without the ball. The fact that Jean-Michel Seri is leggy and old, if they sit in a double pivot like this, what Ibrahima Sangare is able to do is to shield Jean-Michel Seri from this area to prevent turnovers because he's old, he's leggy, and all of that. Albeit he's very technical and can pick a pass. So that was very good tweak from NS5. And I think that helped against the Senegalese. It's consistently against Senegal, it became a 3v3 where you have Lamine Yamal and the likes, but they just could not bust the Ivorian midfield because they were very good physically and also could match their technical strength. And that's what kept the Ivorians in the game. And that's what made, of course, eventually made them win. And if you look at how they turned things around, Jean-Michel said will get the ball from deep areas. And because they had willing runners, and this time it's even better because now Seb Haller is back into the team. And for me, he is the ultimate striker for the African Cup of Nations, just like Victor Osimhen. Hold up play, aerial duels, 1v1 battles as centre backs. It's important for a striker in the African Cup of Nations to have these traits. And he has done that job brilliantly well. They can go long to him to receive the ball in this area. Once he receives the ball in this area, then there are excellent willing runners in Simon Adingra and then Nicola Pepe of the back, and that gets the job done for them, and that's exactly where the Ivorians have got in there. I just think that the Nigerians have a very compact shape without the ball. They are very resolute, they are very solid, and it's just going to be a little bit difficult for the Ivorians to match them. And I don't know, for me, I just think it tilts directly to the Nigerians. I just believe that the Nigerians are going to get a job done today. They have a much more automated way of playing for about the last 5 games, and they know exactly how to make it work and also. But the thing is that as far as the game goes, it's going to tilt in favor of Ivory Coast. If the game keeps on going far, the Ivorians have stuck in for a very long time. They know that they can get a job done. So that's our little preview of the African Cup of Nations, but there's a lot more to talk about. So let us get into it. There's a lot more to talk about. And if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for choosing us on Fiifi-Manfred. We are grateful to consistently choosing us. We want to hear from you, like I always do. Subscribe to the channel. I just saw a comment on the channel. It says first time watching, but I like you consider some tactical points when doing the review. It's important. Yeah, that's what we do here. A lot of tactical analysis, a lot of pretty much post-match analysis, everything. We give you the best here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So stick and say, yeah, big games. Barcelona are supposed to play against Granada. Given yesterday what happened between Real Madrid and Girona, boy, if you've not watched yesterday's of analysis, go back and watch it. Real Madrid were brilliant in dealing with Granada, and that 4-1-2-1-2 was excellent. Hold up play, getting in behind from Jude Bellingham from his late deep runs from midfield, and then of course what he gives to his team in that stuff is very, very brilliant. And that's exactly what you get from a player like that. And that 4-1-2-1. I think that a lot of credit has to go to Carlo Ancelotti. He has honed the machine, great machine, in that 4-1-2-1-2. And that's the importance of sometimes functional play. Barca knows that they need to win to close the gap on Atletico de Madrid. And then, of course, Girona. If you look at the table in the Spanish La Liga, Madrid are first, Barcelona are third. Barcelona played a game less than Girona. They need to win and closer to 3 points. Important that they get that done in there. They're playing against Granada. Xavi Alonso post his comments that he's going to retire. He's going to leave the job after the season. Looks as if Barcelona are playing very well. And I think that this is a game that Barcelona should be able to play. I'm seeing some excellent 4-2-3-1s from Barcelona in recent games, especially in their last game. And I've said this several times. Maybe Barcelona are suffering from post Sergio Busquets and the fact that Sergio was an important player for them, and maybe Frankie de Jong is not that player cut in the mode of Sergio Busquets. But I just think that Frankie de Jong is a different animal. He is even better. He's even better in terms of, not necessarily in terms of build up, but as a midfielder all round. I mean, he's excellent in that regard. Ronald Araujo has returned, played in the last game. Kunde, Christensen, Cancelo, and Inaki Pina will make the back five. Then, of course, there is Pedri, who is retained. Very important, number 8 for them. I've said it several times. Frankie de Jong, Craig Gundogan, then after Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Femi Lopez. There should be a good side to be able to hold their own against Granada in the Spanish La Liga and then move on from the Westham United are playing against Arsenal. Difficult game. Mind you, West Ham are without Lucas Paqueta and then Mikel Antonio. It's going to have a huge part of the conversation of Arsenal versus West Ham. Once Mikel Antonio is not part of Westham team that's going to play Arsenal Football Club. You know that's going to affect things in there for Arsenal Football Club. But we'll talk about it tactically like we've done for other teams. So let us get straight into it. And the possible lineup, I'm hearing that also Bukayo Saka is injured for Arsenal and he's not going to play. Alexander Zinchenko is also injured, and there's also Fabio Vieira who's injured. We're expecting Lucas Fabianski in post for them. Naif Agüed and then Zuma Agüed is back for an African Cup of Nations. Sofiane Koufal or Soufal, you know how you want to call it, Emerson as a two fullbacks in there. Then a double pivot of Alvarez and Thomas Soucek. Excellent, very good, especially without the ball. Alvarez is just average on the ball, but then without the ball, I mean, he's just okay. James Ward-Prowse takes up central areas as the number 10. My problem is that there was more balance when you played a double six like this. And then you had Lucas Paqueta here. If you have Lucas Paqueta here and you play James Ward-Prowse outright, now James will come inside, you have a double inside tens like that. You're able to form the box midfield. And then Mohamed Kudus will keep the weight on the right hand side and cuts in. I mean, without that, Arsenal, West Ham are shaped like this. Alvarez, Soucek, Ward-Prowse in there. And then the front three, Mohamed Kudus from the right hand side, Johnson, and then Gerald Bowen. I mean, it's a seemingly weak West Ham side against an Arsenal side. Arsenal expected to line up in a 4-3-3 as well. In there, where you have Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba as the two centre backs pair. There is Benjamin White and Tomiyasu in the midfield three. Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. I'll tell you how that is excellent in there. This is a dream that I've had for a very long time in here. So it becomes a 4-2-3-1 actually, where you have Jorginho sitting next to Declan Rice. And I told you earlier on that in that Ivorian team, Ibrahima Sangari's job was to protect Jean-Michel Seri. The same for Declan Rice. Declan is more of an excellent sniffer of danger. He's able to get into the counter press, bring the ball back for them, while Jorginho will control possession. Everything will go through him from central areas, such as Jorginho, and then Declan Rice from deep areas. Then Martin Odegaard will be slightly ahead of them as a number 10. In the front three, you are seeing Martinelli, Havertz, and then Trossard leading the lines for them. And for me, if you look at Arsenal's team, this season Arsenal's team has all been about control, with and without the ball. Without the ball, Arsenal's best part of control is with Declan Rice in central areas. And then the fact that with the ball, they have a very good shape in progressing the ball. And the only problem, however, is that between Zinchenko and then Tomiyasu, who slot into the middle of the pack to make up for the numbers in here. Because, of course, you're going to get Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba open up, and then Benjamin White like they always do. So maybe Tomiyasu comes inside here to help in terms of build-up, to help in terms of control, help in terms of turnovers in central areas, winning those balls and then playing forward for willing runners in Martinelli and then, of course, Leandro Trossard. Also, it means easy that in the middle of the park, where we are most likely going to see Tomiyasu drop into central areas like this, we are going to see Jorginho, Declan Rice, we are going to see Odegaard will push up in between the lines as an 8 more for here when they are progressing the ball. We are going to see a box midfield for Arsenal. And when Arsenal are in a box midfield, it means that definitely they are going to control central areas here in this area of the pitch because a 4-3, because of course you're expecting to have Soucek, Alvarez, excellent off the ball players against with James Ward-Prowse, and this possibly is going to limit James Ward-Prowse's impact on the game. Whilst Arsenal are going to have the men to progress the ball forward because they're going to have a box midfield, they will have enough men in terms of counter pressing in the middle of the park. So generally they'll be controlling the game without the ball, and even on the ball, it looks as if they are going to control. Now, the big issue is going to be the runs of Martinelli versus Koufal, and then of course Emerson versus Leandro Trossard, especially their outside runs between the outside centre back and then the full back here. Because Kai Havertz will do more like a false nine job, make a last minute ditch runs and try to pull Zuma and Agüed next to them. In terms of one of the things that I'm expecting is that if there's going to be a goal from West Ham, most likely will come from a set piece, and Arsenal may find it difficult to score from a set piece, especially if you're looking at their centre forward in Kai Havertz. But that's exactly how I'm expecting the game to go about. Mikel Arteta, excellent manager. I think that he has enough control, enough men. He lost the last time against West Ham United, and it's about control. You watched the City game yesterday. they're able to stay calm, waited for the control, and they're able to win that game against Everton. So I'm expecting Arsenal to have the control and then go in and win this all-important game against Westham United. We're almost out of time. Aston Villa against Manchester United. What a game! United are slowly getting to where we expected to get. Aston Villa lost their last game. I'm expecting them to kickstart together and get the job done in that game that they have to go in and play. So I don't know exactly how that game is going to pan out, but definitely it's an exciting game that you're going to see between the two sides, Arsenal and Manchester United, going on at Villa Park later in the day. Now, to tomorrow's game that will preview later in the evening. Stick and stay. Don't go nowhere. Preview that alone separately for you. Me on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. As it stands now, Chelsea are preparing to go and play against Aston Villa. But yeah, stick and stay. This is a preview of today's game to African Cup of Nations final. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you. Bye.